Terminally ill patients report the same 5 regrets again and again, and here's what we can learn from their wisdom. Our days are filled with a constant stream of decisions. Most are mundane, but some are so important that they can haunt you for the rest of your life. A recent study from Columbia University found that we're bogged down by more than 70 decisions a day. The sheer number of decisions we have to make each day leads to a phenomenon called decision fatigue, whereby your brain actually tires like a muscle. When making a decision, instead of referencing the knowledge we've accumulated, our brains focus on specific, detailed memories. For example, if you're buying a new car and trying to decide if you should go for the leather seats even though you know you can't afford it, your brain might focus on memories of the wonderful smell and feel of the leather seats in your brother's sports car when it should be focused on the misery you're going to experience when making that excessively high monthly car payment. Since you don't have memories of this yet, it's a hard thing for your brain to contemplate. I'm not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions, says Dr. Stephen Covey. Some decisions are minor, such as what to eat, which route to drive to work, or in what order to tackle a task. Others are more difficult, such as choosing between 2 job offers, whether to move to a new city, or whether to cut a toxic person out of your life. Regardless of the magnitude of the decision, our brains make it hard for us to keep the perspective we need to make a good choice. Bronnie Ware spent her career as a palliative care nurse, working exclusively with people who were 3 to 12 months from death. She made a habit of asking them about their greatest regrets. And she heard the same 5 regrets time and time and time again. By studying these regrets, you too can make certain that you make good choices and you don't fall victim to them yourself. Number 1, they wish they hadn't made decisions based on what others think, and I've talked about this 100 times. When you make your decision based on other people's opinions, 2 things tend to happen. 1, you make a poor career choice. There are too many people out there who studied for a degree they regret or even spent their lives pursuing a career they regret. Whether you're seeking parental approval or pursuing pay and prestige over passion, making a poor career choice is a decision that will live with you forever. Follow your heart. Follow your passion. One of the reasons that people will often give you advice when you ask about these kind of important things is because they want to be careful. They want to be conservative. They don't want to go down in your ledger as being someone who told them to do something that you now regret doing. So don't bother asking. Make your own choice. Make your own decision based on what you know. If you don't feel you know enough, go study or talk to someone who has become a really significant success in that field. Next, you fail to uphold your morals. When you get too caught up in what your boss thinks of you, how much money you think your spouse needs to be happy, or how bad you will look if you fail, you are at high risk of violating your own morals. Your intense desire to make yourself look good compromises your ability to stay true to yourself and ultimately to feel good. Remember the number 1 person you need to make happy? It's that man or it's that woman that stares you back in the mirror every morning when you prepare yourself for your day. The best way to avoid falling prey to the opinions of others is to realize that other people's opinions are just that, opinions. Regardless of how great or terrible they think you are, that's only their opinion. Your true self-worth comes from within. We all are a success, just waiting to happen. Number 2, they wish they hadn't worked so hard. Working hard is a great way to impact the world, to learn, to grow, to feel accomplished, and to sometimes even find happiness, but it becomes a problem when you do so at the expense of the people closest to you. Ironically, we often work hard to make money for the people we care about without realizing that they value our company more than money. The key is to find a balance between doing what you love and being with the people you love. Otherwise, you'll look back one day and wish you'd focused more on the latter. Hence, some people wish that they hadn't worked so hard. Number 3, they wish they had expressed their feelings. It's an interesting one. We're taught as children that emotions are dangerous and that they must be bottled up and controlled. This usually works at first, but boxing up your feelings causes them to grow until they erupt like a volcano. The best thing you can do is to put your feelings directly on the table. Though it's painful to initiate, it forces you to be honest and transparent. For example, if you feel as though you don't make enough money at work, schedule a meeting with your boss and propose why you think you're worth more. As a result, he or she will either agree with you and give you a raise or disagree and tell you what you need to do to become more valuable. Or worst case, they'll say, I'm glad you brought that up. We don't need you anymore. Sometimes, you know what? That can be a silver lining. Anyways, I don't suggest that that's going to happen, when you have an intelligent conversation with your employer. On the other hand, if you do nothing and let your feelings fester, this will hinder your performance and prevent you from reaching your goal. Put it out there. Get it on the table. No harm done. You will gain respect by being willing to communicate your true feelings about your job, about your position, about your company. Just do it in a positive frame. Number 4, they wish they had stayed in touch with their friends. When you get caught up in your weekly routine, it's easy to lose sight of how important people are to you, especially those you have to make time for. Relationships with old friends are among the first things to fall off the table when we're busy. This is unfortunate because spending time with friends is a major stress buster. Close friends can bring you energy, fresh perspectives, and a sense of belonging in a way that no one else can. Number 5, they wish they had let themselves be happy. When your life is about to end, and we will all share this time, all the difficulties you face suddenly become trivial. Think about it. What matters more than taking that next breath? So you face suddenly sometimes become trivial compared to the good times. This is because you realize that more often than not, suffering is a choice. A choice that you can just decide to stop thinking. Unfortunately, most people realize this far too late. Although we inevitably experience pain, how we react to our pain is completely under our control, and is our ability to experience joy. Learning to laugh, smile, and be happy, especially when stressed, is challenging at times. Sometimes it seems impossible, but it's quite doable. Just tell your brain, stop thinking that ugly stuff and start thinking this happy stuff. It really is that simple. It's an idea that's worth every ounce of effort, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you cut your regrets for your last day. I work hard at it. It takes practice. It takes exercise. It takes awareness. It takes thought. But you can do it. And it really is that easy. I thank you for being on tonight's call, more than you can possibly know. I hope that I have helped you become a better person, because you have helped me become better at what I do. It's all through practice.